Sports fans love to debate who's the best player, what's the best team, all that stuff. But right now there is one thing that's undebatable. In women's soccer, the U.S. is the best in the world. How much that's worth? Well, that's the subject of a lot of debate. Facebook and Twitter have been raging. One side says the women win more, so they should get paid more. The other side says, well, the men generate more revenue, so they should get paid more. The problem is the U.S. Soccer Federation, which employs both, doesn't actually break it down like that. According to their latest financial statement, they brought in roughly $100 million last year, but there's no way to know how much of it came from the men and how much of it came from the women. That's because U.S. Soccer sells all of its marketing packages and broadcast rights as a bundle. You buy one team, you get both teams. The women's team is currently suing the U.S. Soccer Federation for discrimination. In their lawsuit, they claimed that a women's player would get paid 62% less than a men's player over 20 games. According to the Washington Post, that's true under the women's team's old agreement. Under their new agreement, the Washington Post analysis shows the gap would be about 11%.
Maybe for once, like, God forbid we be overpaid. Maybe that could just happen like one time, and then we'll see how it goes from there.
Then there's the World Cup, which is a completely different beast. FIFA, soccer's governing body around the world, pays out prize money based on where a team finishes in the tournament, and then that money filters down to the player in the form of bonuses. In the 2018 Men's World Cup, which the U.S. failed to qualify for, France, the eventual champion, got $38 million. The U.S. women, for their latest win, are going to get $4 million. It's important to note that FIFA brought in $2.5 billion in the year of the last Men's World Cup, compared to $260 million for the last Women's World Cup. In its response to the lawsuit, the U.S. Soccer Federation said they're just passing along the prize money from FIFA. But attorneys for the women's team argue that just because FIFA pays the women less doesn't mean that U.S. Soccer has to. The lawsuit still has to go through the courts, but the question outside the courtroom is, will a fourth World Cup championship give the women any more leverage when their current deal expires in 2021?